Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I want to go ahead and give my review over. And just like that, I want to give a shout out to Shay for making Miranda feel like a W-O-M-A-N, woman. Yeah! Anyways, child, we be all night love. We woke up in the kitchen saying how to I've been oh baby. Drunk in love. We be all night love. Hey, love. We be all night love. Yeah. Oh, that's a drunken love, baby. Shout out to Miranda and Shay. Anyway, shout right. So Carrie's back is a mess, or at least she thought it was her back. This entire time it was actually her hip. Seema has a cousin who's a doctor. He lets her know that it's a child, a birth defect, and that they can take care of it ASAP. And so that's what she eventually does. Okay. Charlotte and some of the girls at the school, LTW and some of the other women that we've met, and I think last episode or the episode before, they are all having a Zoom meeting, and towards the end of the meeting, one of the girls, one of the women, one of the parents, she gives a shout out to Rock for doing a great job. I think it was a school play. So everybody's like, yay, yay, yay for Rock. And Charlotte is just like, girl, who is Rock? Who is that? I don't know no Rock. And she was like, I must forgot about somebody. They're like, Rock. So now, at this point, Rose has let Charlotte know that she does not feel like a girl. She feels like a boy. So basically, everyone at school has been notified by Rock, formerly known as Rose, to acknowledge her or call them by the name. And I think also Rose has changed her pronouns from her to they. And so it's from her to they, and from Rose to Rock. And so they've let everyone at the school know what the changes are. Charlotte has no idea. So, excuse me, LTW basically, girl, what the funniest thing, girl, when they realized that Charlotte didn't know that they were to refer to Rose as Rock, girl, it looked like the computer screen had froze. Girl, when they realized, because they were like, oh, yay, Rock did a good job. And Charlotte was like, who's Rock? I forgot about, I'm sorry I forgot about someone's child. They were like, no, Rock. You didn't know? And she was like, no, what? And everybody was like, it was hilarious, child. So basically, they all get off the Zoom call. LTW calls Charlotte and let Charlotte know that what's going on with Rock at school. So anyways, Charlotte goes into the other room. Lily is playing. I think Lily is doing her homework or something. Rock and their dad, they're playing, I think, a video game. And Charlotte basically asks Rock, when did this happen? Why were we not notified? Like, why are you telling people that your name is Rock? And so Rock was basically like, I did let y'all know. I let y'all know on TikTok. Girl, Rock, we're not going to play this game. Okay? Ain't nobody paid no attention to no TikTok. Okay? I would have been more mad about that than anything. You think I'm really paying attention to what y'all doing on TikTok? Maybe we should. That's the problem. Okay, there we go. Maybe we should. That's the problem, okay? Anyways, child. So Miranda is opening up packages at her home, and in one of the packages is some lubricant and some tube socks. I'm not gonna get into some Miranda. Listen, y'all run y'all households how y'all run y'all households. Like I'm not on that wave yet. It's a lot of stuff that I can get on, I can get with. It's a lot of stuff I can try to wrap my brain around. Non-binary, trans kids, all of that. I can try and work with that. We gonna work our way through it, right? But baby, you smashing in my house. I don't care if you trans, non-binary, girl, don't know what you is, girl, straight, gay. I don't care. Ain't nobody smashing in my house, period. And if you do, you better do it when I'm not at home. And you better hope I don't find out, okay? You better go do it in the backseat of a car. I don't know. That's one thing I would just never get on that train. No, you're not having sex in my home. Sorry. I know you probably out there doing it. Because everybody your age was doing it. Okay? We all, well, y'all, not me. That was y'all. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to leave it alone because I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get into that. So she receives a book and it's basically Quit Like a Woman. I guess how to stop drinking. She tells Carrie in the next scene that she thought that it was Charlotte who sent her the book. So she got an attitude with Charlotte because she thinks Charlotte trying to tell her through an Amazon book, girl, you need to put the bottle down, okay? Carrie has her surgery. After the surgery, she wakes up. She has to pee. Charlotte helps her to the restroom. While she's in the restroom or headed to the restroom, her phone rings. It's Shay. Miranda answers. She invites Shay upstairs because Shay was bringing Carrie, I guess, some food. Carrie doesn't want to be bothered, right? And so she tells Miranda, girl, look, I don't feel like being bothered with nobody. You invited her, basically. You invited her up here. You need to go handle it, right? So Miranda, she runs downstairs and basically she just ends up having lunch with Shay. They just talking about life, and Shay told this story about how when they were a child, no, not they, I mean, not a child, I think it was a few years earlier, they went to the doctor, and the daddy thought that they had diagnosed Shay as being a lesbian. So he woke up, he was asleep. She was telling the story. They were telling the story about how the dad was asleep, and when he woke up, he heard the doctor diagnose her with whatever he diagnosed her with. But he thought that he was trying to tell them that she was a lesbian. That they were a lesbian. And baby, no. Daddy, that's not how it works. You can't go to the doctor and girl, they say, okay, based on your temperature, you a lesbian. You one of the girls. You one of the kids. Based on that 99.7 temperature, you one of the children. Right, no, that ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. Anyways, child. Carrie, the next scene is Carrie is doing her podcast from home. Carrie is higher than a Cooter Brown, baby. She's telling all of her business about how Samantha had to basically play with that cat of hers because her diaphragm got stuck. And so Samantha pretty much had to pretty much finger her to help her get that diaphragm loose. Charlotte felt like she maybe should text Samantha to let Samantha know just in case if it made, I guess, the news or the blogs or whatever that, the famous author Carrie Bradshaw has let the world know that her good Judy, basically girl had to do what she had to do to help her sister out. Carrie didn't think it would be that big of a deal. Later on in the end of the episode, she did text Samantha. Samantha replied and said it's not that big of a deal, basically. So that was that on that. Charlotte and her husband, I cannot remember her husband's name. Charlotte and her husband meet up with the school officials, basically to talk about Rock. Rock has informed everyone at the school that their name is Rock and that their pronouns are their and them, they. The school basically lets Charlotte and her husband know that while what they say is important, what the child says is important too. You know, I want to say this. I know that it has to be hard, you know, because I talk a lot. Yeah, I talk a lot of, you know, I know that it has to be hard for parents when you are probably dealing with someone who may be lesbian, gay, trans, non-binary. You know, I just wish, I know that's not realistic, I just wish more parents were more like Charlotte and her husband, because even though they didn't really, you know, the husband really didn't understand, Charlotte was like, okay, girl, I'm trying to grasp it. They just didn't just shut it down, right? At least they listened to what these professionals or whomever they were at the school had to say, right? They also even listened to Rock. Well, I know that Charlotte did the first night when Rock told her that they felt like a boy. They didn't automatically just shut it down. But I can also, you know, I get that it could be hard if your child comes to you, you know, as a teenager or as a child and tells you that they have these feelings. You know, I just think that sometimes you just need to just, you know, listen to your child, listen to the professionals, and, you know, stuff will work its way out. You know? I think, you know, the girls probably thought, I'm sure some people in my family thought that me being gay was a phase. Girl. It ain't. It ain't. Okay? I know it's not the same thing as trans and non-bi, I know. But I'm just saying, you know. So shout out to Charlotte. I know this is fake. I know this is fictional. But shout out to those characters for at least, you know, even though they don't fully understand, they are at least going into this with an open mind, you know, and not just shutting down what their child feels. Baby. All I know is Shay stopped by Carrie house to bring a bottle of tequila and a professional microphone. Because she want to get Carrie high and drunk so Carrie can continue to tell all her business. So she going to be high on pills, okay? And girl, drunk off that look, okay? That tequila. And she wanted to get her professional microphone because girl, that microphone she had was a mess. So Carrie is asleep. Of course, Miranda started taking shots. Shay started taking shots. Girl. Shay smoking. Carrie wakes up. She has to pee. Now at this point, baby, Miranda and Shay in the kitchen, honey. Girl, what I tell you. When I tell you Miranda was in there, baby, catching her everlasting life. Girl, this reminded me of something that I could see like someone in college or just like, girl, just think about this. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. You got one girl in the in her bedroom, right? Who has to pee. But she has surgery. Her friend is there to make sure that she can get around when she needs to get around, right? So you have this one friend who has to pee, okay? She can't go to the restroom because her good sister is in the kitchen, girl, being a thot, okay? Girl with her legs open, getting fingered, okay? So now she gotta go the best way she can go. So she gotta grab a Snapple bottle on the nightstand and make sure she positions herself just right to make sure that hole meet that hole, okay? So now, girl, she's trying to get back on the bed. While she's trying to get back on the bed, the Snapple bottle goes over and the pee spills on the bed. Miranda is in the kitchen hollering and screaming. Now, y'all got to remember, girl, Miranda ain't been touched. And what she said, well, I ain't gonna say she ain't been touched. Miranda said she ain't had sex with Steve. She ain't never said she ain't had sex with nobody else. But I'm gonna assume, I'm gonna just go out on the limb and say, now Miranda ain't been touched. Because the way that Miranda was in that kitchen, cutting up and acting the fool, God. I said, oh, Miss Mama needed that. Miss Mama, but Miranda was finished, honey. She was smiling, but Miss Thing was all over. I'm not even mad at Mimi. I'm calling Miranda Mimi from now on, baby. Baby, Miranda, hair was all over her head, honey. Baby, Shay had to put her hair up in Miranda. Girl, Miranda was doing all of that, hollering, baby, in that woman house. Girl, so Shay helped Miranda bust that 3-year, 4-year, however long it's been nut, baby. And then Shay said she gotta go because Shay had a comedy show she had to get to. Miranda and Carrie basically get into it, rightfully so. Carrie is upset. I would have been upset for the simple fact that one girl, I'd have sat here as a grown woman and basically low-key peed on myself, threw pee on the bed, right, however you want to say it, and then you and my boss are in the kitchen smashing. Girl, I would have picked up the phone and cursed Shay out. Because at that point, girl, you've crossed a boundary. You've crossed that line. You are literally having sex in my kitchen with my best friend. Both of y'all getting cursed out. Okay? Now, after I curse you out, we can go back to being professional. But now, So basically, she's upset. Miranda, she feels bad. And she, basically lets Carrie know that she's not happy. She hasn't been happy since forever. But she, hasn't felt, basically what just happened with Shay, she hasn't felt that way in a very long time. So that's pretty much what it was, Miranda got the girl. I'm not mad at Miranda. I'm not mad at her. But if I was Carrie, I would have cursed her out. I would have cursed her out and Shay out. Because that was, girl. Ain't that some disrespectful, girl? You trying to go to the restroom with your home girl in the kitchen, girl, busting one. And girl, you got pee all over your bed. And the whole purpose of her being that is so you would not get pee on the bed. Girl. Oh, child. Anyways. Miranda, come to find out, Miranda was the one who actually ordered that book. The book that she thought that Charlotte sent her, she ordered the book when she was drunk and didn't even realize it. That basically made her realize that she that she does have a drinking problem. And so she went and she basically disposed of all of her alcohol. Carrie goes to see a physical therapist. The physical therapist is cute. Her insurance for whatever. This is what I be getting mad. I don't know nothing about no insurance. Okay, I just know you need it. Okay, you're not gonna get me to believe that Carrie Bradshaw got poor people insurance. Okay, you're not gonna get me to believe that Carrie Bradshaw has poor people insurance. You just not. Like, if your husband is a multimillionaire, if your husband has enough money to just up and leave his ex-wife $1 million, girl, you got decent insurance, okay? Y'all want to make me believe that the insurance that Carrie got, it ain't good enough to cover this physical therapist. Girl. It ain't. So the insurance that Carrie Bradshaw got, who was married to John James Preston or James John Preston, girl, it ain't good enough to cover this one physical therapist. It ain't. So she said she gonna pay out of pocket. And just like that, the helper was back in those hills in 3 months. Girl, I'm so sick and tired of y'all trying to play me.